in the stream. That would help. look at Ellis. He's kind of like he's trying to figure out what's going
It's like
on.
floating.
All right, guys. Well, welcome. Glad to see you guys tonight. We are excited to just chat and share what's going on the farm, and put your name and where you guys are located in the chat. That helps us figure out context for where you're coming from. But yeah, just to see what's going on with you. So yeah, I think it's been a while since we've done one on growing farmers. And then I promised folks 10 tools. I don't know if you heard that. I promised them 10 tools.
You're mailing them 10 tools?
No.
All viewers get mailed 10 tools.
Lisa is from Chillicothe, Missouri.
There's a Chillicothe in Missouri? There's a Chillicothe in Ohio.
There is, yes. Yes, there absolutely is. I promised them 10 tools that we use on the farm here that I was going to share with them. Oh. Yes, that I wouldn't do without. Gotcha. So, all right, I guess I'll go ahead and get started with those. And just move my things around here so I can pull those up and get the right Google Drive up.
Wait a list of questions or what? Oh my gosh, look at baby Charlotte.
Yes. Okay. All right. Quit that down. All right. Keith is from Richmond, Virginia. Blaine is from Utah. Jean is from
Rochester,
Minnesota. How close is that to Jonathan and Miriam?
Jonathan and Miriam are in. Oh, Jean Wilson. I think that's Mom's friend.
Oh, okay.
Jean, are you my mom's friend?
All right.
They just got the Elderberry course and a bunch of Elderberry plants.
All right.
But I don't know where Miriam and Jonathan are in Alexandria, but I don't know.
Okay.
Geography.
All right. Well, guys, I've got some tools for you guys tonight now, and these are tools that I would not necessarily say are like.
She said, "Yep, it's her."
Okay. Dustin's from Houston, Texas. So I'm going to preface these tools and say these are tools that some of them I've used for a very, 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 very long time. Some of them are brand new. Like I discovered them this year. I was thrilled. So I literally had to share with you guys.
How long have you tested them? You need to include that.
Well, at $12, I don't think that much testing has to be done.
What's $12?
This one right there.
Oh, you have been really into that.
Yes, I have been really into that. All right, so I'll go ahead, pull up some pictures here, and share with you guys these tools, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. Make sure we've got them there. And then if you guys have used these tools or you got questions about these tools or something like that, you guys can ask questions. Yeah. So this tool actually is what we do a lot majority of the spraying here on the farm with at this time. So right now we don't have we're still doing, we're doing about 3 to 5, in all honesty, about 5 acres of crops. And we're still using basically backpack blowers for our nutrient sprays. So we do a lot of foliar spraying. Obviously, we do some pesticides and stuff, organic ones, of course. But everything has been done with backpack blowers. So right now, we've just got a brand new one. Actually, not brand new, it's used. But the one behind here, I think you guys can see right there. That one is one that we've had probably about 20 years.
It's so sad to see them next to each other.
Yes, they do look a little bit different, but I will say that that one in the back still goes.
But you have to really crank it.
Well, yes, it does take.
People have thrown their backs out trying to start that thing.
People have, yes, it does take like 10, 12 pulls sometimes to get started.
Yeah.
But that could just be a tuning thing. It does like the flood easily. But it still runs, and if we're doing strawberries, we'll get 2 people going, one on each one of these. But this is a new one. It's a 450 model. I didn't really want the 450 model. I wanted the 430 model, but the 450 model, I got it used. I got it for a deal, actually.
Why did you want the 430 instead of the 450?
I need to actually pay the guy I bought it from. I just realized.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
It was one of those things. Like, try it, make sure it works for you for a couple weeks, and send me some money.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Yes. But so the 450 model, you can do either powders or you can do liquids. And we really have never done powders, never plan on doing powders. The 430 model has a built-in pump. So let's say you want to spray right up into a tree for like mosquitoes or something. You can turn your thing vertical and spray up into a tree. The 450 model, you have to buy an extra kit.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I paid about maybe 3/5 of what I was going to pay for it. So anyway, I got a deal. We did try an electric version of this, guys. Sir Duke, you are looking at what we use to spray on our farm. So we do a fair amount of foliar sprays. We do some, organic pesticides, stuff like that, like Pyganic. So these are the 2 units we use. You can see right here in the front is it's an electric sprayer, Tomahawk Electric. And we just found the Tomahawk Electric compared to the gas-powered ones just didn't have the oomph, and just I didn't like it anywhere near as much. Now Caleb, who's the main guy that does the spraying, he liked it because he didn't have to try to start it; it just worked. And yeah, it's super easy, and there's obviously no fumes in the greenhouses and stuff. But
so can he use it for some things, or
we still do use it? But I mean, actually, at this point, I think both this sits and this one gets used because it's brand new and it runs really, really well. All right, so that is the absolute first thing. Let's see if I can pull up the second thing that we use here on the farm that I would not do without. This is a cheapie, guys. This is the second one here. This tape measure. So again, I have worked over the years, I've worked my way through a ton of different tape measures. And
more so since having children.
Oh gosh, yes, because kids love the steel tape measures.
Break them.
And this one is a $12 tape measure from FastCap. And the nice things, there's a lot of cool features on it. It's really easy to put on your belt because I should have showed the other side. I don't think I showed the other side here. No, I don't show the other side. But it actually has a clip that you can squeeze open, which is really nice. It has a built-in pencil sharpener. It is just off inches, and the feet are really, the foot marks are really, really minuscule. And the reason for that is like when you're calling out numbers to somebody, you usually say 192 and 3/8. You don't say now, 16, I think that's like 17 feet something or something around there, 17 feet or something. But you don't say 17 feet, 4 inches, and an 1/8. So they kind of helped with that. That was nice. Anyway, so yeah, I really like this. It's a cheap tape measure. So if you break it, you're not that upset. And the other thing is the little white on the side right there, it's actually erasable. So you can write with a pencil on the side there and then erase it.
So you can remember something.
Correct. You can write down 3 or 4 numbers.
Yeah.
So I have found that one. And I've tried a lot of tape measures and I've tried a lot of expensive ones. And this one fits the bill, does 90% of what we want. All right, let's do one that I have actually the same. Again, one of those things I have owned for 20-something years. Same one. All right, here we go, guys. Who wants to know we've owned this for 20-something years? This is our pressure washer. This is an industrial Jenny pressure washer that we've had for 20 years. We've built once. And the reason we like the Jenny is it's electric. So it's not another gas engine to power. It also you can change the seals on it so that you can do hot water. So we could hook this up to our hot water heater and spray, 140, 150 degrees if we wanted to like clean off a tractor of grease or clean off an engine or something like that.
Power wash the inside of the house.
We could. We technically could if you wanted to, but anyway. Our basement was probably more like it. Yes, our basement. But this is a fabulous pressure washer. They're not cheap. They're a couple grand. But this model is I think it's the 1530 model. Well, we're actually right there. Model 2SFX30ES, I guess. I was wrong. But yes, great pressure washer. And we actually blew the hose this winter. Someone left the hose out. It froze. And you can, on a good quality pressure washer hose, it's basically the same as hydraulic fittings. And so we were able to just actually cut it off, take it down to local John Deere dealership, and they just put on a brand new fitting. It did cost $24 something like that. So it wasn't cheap, but it allowed us to use the same hose and the same everything. So we were pretty pleased about that. All right, here we go. Let's see what else we got, guys, here.
We should have made this like a bingo card, you know.
Oh yeah, like what's on your bingo card tonight? Yes.
A little more interactive.
A little more interactive. Oh,
Hi from Maine.
Yes, one more picture here to show you guys. This is how it hooks into the building. So we just had our guy put, it's a dedicated 15 amp breaker. I think 240 15 amp is what it is. And it does, you plug it in and then it has this auto reset. So every single time you plug it in, you will have to hit the auto reset because obviously it's a wet area because it's a pressure washer. But anyway, just want to point that out that does take a special breaker. But yeah, we just put it in there and it's got its dedicated one.
It just kind of lives there.
And it lives there all summer long. In the fall, we bring it inside and then the spring it goes back out. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this one's fun. This is actually an idea I got from Dave Hamilton, which is a farmer it's a very good farmer in the Hudson Valley. He's kind of got a really sweet gig. He runs a CSA farm in a very exclusive community. They've just got big money all around him. So
Is he the one with the big tomato house? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
You're thinking of somebody else.
Oh, okay.
That was Dave Chapman.
Dave Chapman.
Yes.
I had the Dave right.
Hi there, buddy. But yeah, Dave Hamilton's a great farmer. And the really cool thing about Dave is he intentionally takes his winters and really does some projects around the farm. So this is a rolling greenhouse cart that he's really perfected. And we saw a couple pictures of it, made our own version. This is 4 feet by 8 feet.
They're so handy.
And they are so handy. We have like, I think 8 now.
Yeah, that's probably
And actually half of our greenhouse space is full of these carts. And so we can roll them out to harden them off. We can roll them all the way out to the field if we need to. We've done that before. We roll them out from the greenhouse out to the retail area and then at night back in if it gets cold. We can just move around the greenhouse and if we need to, something like that. But yeah,
anything that helps us play Tetris.
Yes, because our greenhouse is very full these days.
Yeah.
But yes, this is it's a must for us. We've been messing with the tires. But that's probably the only part we haven't been very happy with is if you load this entire thing with 3-inch pots and you water it, it's almost impossible to move. So our latest version has 4 tires across the bottom, and we're going to see how that works. So we tried bicycle tires or really heavy duty, like
you can see the one in the back kind of has bicycle tires.
well,
so
that's
a different design.
Yes, that's a different design. Just we're getting there.
Oh,
we're getting there, honey.
Oh.
So right now these are built out of just regular pine lumber, screwed together because we don't want to use pressure treated in this situation. Obviously, you could also build out of locust or something like that, which would be more rot resistant. But I think we'll probably get 5-6 years out of these, no problem, because again, they don't. They aren't out in the weather a lot. They're typically in the greenhouse. They do get wet.
They would be out in the weather the most this season.
Right now.
Yeah.
Until they go back. Yes, they go back in.
You got people from South Dakota, Southeast Ohio.
Dale is from Southeast Ohio here. Yep. Yep. All right, guys, if you have any questions about design or anything, just throw that in the chat. More than happy to answer those questions as well. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, so here's one that we've been messing with that we really like. And if you guys aren't familiar with these, you guys are missing out. All right, so these are our ink birds. So the nice thing about an ink bird is you can actually plug this in, set a temperature, set a parameter, and then there is a heating and a cooling on some of them. There is a add humidity, subtract humidity on another. But there's actually a full line of these now, ink birds, and they're again $40 to $60. There's Wi-Fi ones too, and the Wi-Fi ones are super nice. We use the Wi-Fi ones in our coolers, and then we'll plug in a little heater. So during the winter in our coolers, we're just heating them to keep them at 34, 36 degrees. In the summer, obviously we cool our coolers, and we use CoolBots, but I've also seen people hack an ink bird to act like a CoolBot, and I've also seen people take the ink birds and hack them to do roll-up sides in their greenhouses. So that I think is a really clever situation. Absolutely, you can do that. But right for us, this actually setup is on our mushroom house, and we use these to basically control the temperature and humidity in our mushroom chamber. So yeah, it worked out really, really well actually. Kept really good parameters
Over
there.
your phone? This is the one that goes to your
Yeah,
phone?
the Wi-Fi enabled.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I have like 6 apps on my phone that I'm always checking all the time of what's going on. All right, so there's that one, Inkbird. Definitely very helpful there. And then, okay, so these next two, actually, wait a minute. Let's show this one because actually this involves the Inkbird here. So this is one way we use the Inkbird here. This is our turmeric germination chamber. So this entire chamber is full of turmeric pots. Blaine says, I used one to turn a chest freezer into a fridge. Absolutely, Blaine. We've done the exact same thing. We use it to hold some of our cuttings. So people will go on our website, order our cuttings, and then say, I want them shipped in May. Well, we really don't recommend shipping in May just because that's very late. But we can accommodate that. So we actually have taken a chest freezer in our basement, hook one of these to it, and then we will run it at about 33 degrees. And that allows us to hold those cuttings at almost freezing for that. All right, so let's go find another one. All right, so another one is, okay, the next two are tractor parts. So again, tractors for us on our farm are very important. We are not getting any younger, and we're trying to preserve our bodies. And so that's why to us having equipment around the farm to do some of the heavier lifting, in our case, moving pallets around, moving compost, all that kind of stuff is very important. So, but one of the important aspects of 90% of tractors is a 3-point hitch. And so to me, hooking up implements is can be quite a pain. And so we obviously, one of the big things that we really like is draft extenders. So basically what this is in the draft links on the bottom of your tractor 3-point, these extend that out. So you back in within maybe 4 to 5 inches of the piece of equipment, or probably 3 to 4 inches. And then you can literally pop this open, extend that link out, hook it up. And then what you do is just back up a few inches and that locks those in, and then you're good to go. So these pair very, very nicely with something called a hydraulic top link. So typically tractors will have a mechanical top link, which has a screw extension. And we replaced those with a hydraulic top link. And so it's just basically works off a hydraulic cylinder and goes to your hydraulic takeoff on your tractor here. And we will not run a tractor without them. They're that handy. So tomorrow morning, first thing I have to go lay plastic. We get a bunch of plastic laid before the storm comes in. And basically, this is a really important because it allows us also to feather the plastic layer on the go. So instead of having to, it's not quite adjusted right, get out, stop the machine, crank that a little bit, go forward and back and try to figure it out. All I do is adjust the little valve there, extend that thing out, change the angle of the implement behind me, and away we go. Here it's hooked up to a rototiller, but we'll also use it on like a landscape rake. It's super nice on a landscape rake, super nice on a box blade, being able to adjust your teeth and your blade on the go. So yeah, this is something that is very helpful. The other thing we use this for a lot, and it's very helpful in, is we have rear 3-point forks for the tractor. So the tractors we have, they'll pick up about 1,200 pounds. Most pallets are 2,000 pounds. Most tractors that size can hold up to 2,500 pounds on the rear. So this allows us to put 3-point forks on the back of our tractor. But the problem is that on most of these tractors, the 3-point won't drop low enough to get under a pallet. But if you can feather them down, you can slide under the pallet, get it going, and get it up on there, and then pick it up, and away you go. So probably a bit complicated there, what I just said. But anyway, we will not buy a tractor, build a tractor without putting a hydraulic top link on it. In fact, Mike, who has the big tractor, 65 horsepower that we lease. Like he brought the tractor over one time, and literally that same day, I was like, "Hey, Mike, I got this new tool for your tractor," and it was a hydraulic top link. And now the hydraulic, that hydraulic top link stays here at the farm, and then anytime literally it came over, the regular top link goes off, the hydraulic top links goes on, and away we go. So, yeah, again, this is something you can buy them on like Agro Direct for like maybe $60, 60. Depends on the type, up to 350. I think the decent ones that we go for is about $200, and then you'll want to make your own hoses. I would say you really only need 1/4-inch hoses. I think this one, can you see, is that a 1/2-inch hose there? Yes,
Yeah.
1/2-inch hose is too big. You do not need a 1/2-inch hose. Part of the thing you want with this is that to really go really slow. And so you don't need to go fast at all. So an 1/8-inch, 1/4-inch hose are going to be probably 1/4-inch hose, I think is what we got here. Is more, yes, 1/4-inch hose is more than plenty for what you need. All right, what else we got here? Oh, we've got, I think, 3 more. We got this one. This one is something we didn't do until we had this farm, and this one is a air compressor hooked right up to an air hose that lives right inside the door that we can bring a vehicle up to. I don't know how many times. I think it's probably once a week between having to pump up an equipment tire or a staff tire or something like that. Or someone buys compost and they don't have the pressure proper, and we have to load them up too. So we've definitely, this is something we use all the time. We even have an extra hose, and we'll run the air hose into the store and blow out the coils on all the refrigerators and the air conditioner.
I think you did that. It caused a bit of an uproar.
Well, we do it on a monthly basis. So
yeah.
Anyway, but yes, this is super great. These reels, this one I think I got at Harbor Freight, and it maybe was $140 or $160. But absolutely 100% worth it. Now, the air compressor we have is a little bit of an expensive one. It's a very, very quiet air compressor, and I forget the actual brand of that. But we've had it since 2001, and it's just set up there, and again, we turn it on when we need it. But I think it's like maybe 60 or 70 decibels, unlike some of the really noisy ones. We bought it for the mushroom house because when we built the big mushroom house at the beginning of our farm, it needed compressed air to do the proper misting system. So that's why we bought it, but it's been a great air compressor since then. So Blaine, great question. If I'm not mistaken, the smaller hose will make the fluid flow faster. So a smaller hose will make the velocity higher, but it will move less overall fluid through the hose. So if you're trying to fill a cylinder, it's not the speed of the actual fluid; it's the amount of fluid that gets through there. So that is a good point. Is that velocity goes up the smaller diameter of the hose. The other thing, if you don't want to go with a smaller hose, I like the smaller hoses because they're also more flexible. You could also get a reducer. Anyway, talk to your local hydraulic dealer, and they can put like a reducer, I think, in that. Not necessarily a reducer, or a flow constrictor is, I guess, what I'm asking for. A flow constrictor in there, and that will slow that fluid down as well. All right. Got 2 more here, guys. All right. So this one we would absolutely not do without. So a lot of folks have done our Dry Your Greens course or have built our wash machine salad spinners. And this one right here with the baskets in it, this one right here, is the original one that we made 2017, I think, when we launched that course, that thing. So yeah.
Well,
it was 2018.
Simon was born in 2017, April.
It was fall of 2017.
So after he was born?
Yeah, I think it was right after he was born. But yeah, this is the original one. We've done a few conversions since then. And the nice thing about these is they just keep trucking. again, these have been going for now almost 8 years, and we still haven't worn them out. Again, Whirlpool wash machines are pretty much bulletproof. So, and again, what you're doing to them is you're just saying, spin, baby, spin. So they just keep trucking. So yeah, definitely recommend these. You can see we just got the little 5-minute timer there and the emergency stop on that. But again, we love these things, and we use 2 of them on the farm every single week of the year. All right, and one last thing here, which is this cart.
I almost gave it away earlier.
Yes. But yeah, we absolutely love this cart. This is the design by Josh Bulk out of Josh is out of Oregon. And oh, hi, bud. Hi. I don't think people can see him because he's kind of like down there a little bit. You want to smile at folks? You want to smile at folks?
He's like, I don't know where the people are.
No.
We're the people, aren't we?
Yes. But yes, this is a great design. It does require a little bit of welding. Obviously, if you're going to weld the frame up, you could have someone locally weld it, but welding gets really expensive. I would just recommend learning how to weld. You typically can go to a local technical school and take a class or two, and 4 to 6 hours, and you'll be able to decently weld.
It doesn't have to be pretty.
It doesn't have to be pretty. It does have to be a good weld, so you will want to learn how to make a good weld. But yes, I've done so many ugly welds. And do I still have that little M I welded at one point, or did I get rid of it? I think it's sitting over right there. I'm gonna go grab that. Right down the corner.
Yeah, I see it.
But this is exactly what I did, is that I went and I actually was attending a conference in Missouri, and I said, hey, one of the tracks was welding. So I went out and, spent hours learning how to weld. And this was like one of my first attempts. And if you guys can see, I don't know how well you can see, I'm actually going to maximize this so you guys can see this a little bit better. But you can see just how awful those welds are. They're ugly as all get out. But the thing is, I kept it because what I wanted to kind of, be able to share with the kids and talk about is it doesn't have to be pretty. You have to start somewhere. And again, my welds now are much prettier. Actually, I welded that cart. So you can get there. And obviously a MIG welder is going to be a lot easier than a stick, although stick is not bad either. But yeah, this cart, we use it all the time on the farm. It's used daily. We use it for compost. We use it for moving transplants. We use it for harvesting. We made the width so it would go right over a bed. So we can literally harvest right onto it from the bed if we're cropping out lettuce or something. We haul tomatoes into the room every week with that. So yeah, it does have pretty heavy duty tires. We did realize that was pretty important to have some good bike tires on there. So they're actually, I don't think they're bike tires. I think they're a pretty heavy duty, like actual cart tire that we bought online someplace. But yeah, it's definitely used very frequently. Now, if you notice on it, we welded like right here, some basically short tubes here and up there. And that was so we could put accessories on this. I've seen a lot of people make stacks so you can put 3 or 4 or 5 layers of trays on there. We had a drip tape holder built into this. We had a row cover holder built into this. So a bunch of different things you can do on this. And
we don't use it for as much of that anymore.
No, we literally just haul stuff with it.
Yeah.
Well, I think because we have the tractor.
Yeah.
And the tractor is kind of how that kind of evolved that.
Yeah.
Way. So, all right, folks. So that is all the, that was the 10 different tools that I had for you guys tonight. Hopefully some of those were helpful. Yeah, if you guys have questions or comments, throw those in the chat there. I'm more than happy to kind of go over that. If you have questions about elderberries or kind of like what we're staying busy with, or strawberry diseases, we're definitely dealing with the neopia disease over here. And so we've got some thoughts on that. But
wood chips in bed aisles, hot topic right now.
Yes. Oh, that is a great question. So the thing about wood chips is everyone's like, I just have some wood chips. Well, there's a lot of different types of wood chips. And so you got ramial wood chips, which are typically the top bit, the really small diameter, usually like 1-year-old growth. And the nice thing about that is that the ramial wood has a higher nitrogen to carbon ratio, or lower nitrogen to carbon ratio, which means it has more nitrogen in it, which means it'll break down faster, which is better. So the other thing you have to be worried about is maybe if the wood chips have been treated in any way. Some of the power lines, they're going to treat those, and they come back and cut the brush and chip it, and then you don't want to end up with that, because some of those chemicals are pretty nasty. The other thing you have to watch out for is like black walnut and cedar chips as well. Some of those can be a little bit nasty. Well, they don't. Black walnut has, I believe it's, I forget the exact compound in it.
Oh, but there's something.
What it will do is it prevents germination of different things, and it'll actually,
right.
I think it's allelopathic is the word.
Okay.
What's in it is on the tip of my tongue. I believe it starts with a J.
Okay.
But I
You
will.
want me to Google it?
I will get
You want me to
that.
ask ChatGPT?
Yes. I will find it here in a second. But someone is probably, yes, Jugalone. That is right, Levi. But it basically prevents things from germinating and just growing. It just stops them. So
I mean, I've heard that. I just didn't know
yes.
exactly what.
Cedar just doesn't break down that fast.
Right.
And again, a lot of some of these are okay in moderation. Like some cedar is okay, some pine is okay, but you wouldn't want to get an entire truckload of just pine. They just don't break down. Again, what we love oaks, willows, maples, all those trees are just fine. Ash is all fine. And again, right now we're sitting on probably 1,500 to 1,800 yards of chips. We have several mountains, absolute mountains of wood chips here on the farm. They were doing a clear cut, and they chipped all of it. And we became the designated location for it. So we have some absolute mountains of chips. Yes.
You've got another. There's two questions. What's your recommendation for in-row spacing for elderberries?
Yes.
And then also popular market gardening tools you don't like. And
don't get the peel off. Yes. I'm still not done talking about wood chips. It's so important.
I'm so sorry.
All right. So
did I just rush you?
You did.
Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen.
We're about halfway through this wood chip because it's a big topic. It's something like JM and I have talked about, Curtis and I have talked about, and like Ray and even I have talked about, because
Ellis is riveted.
Yes. With wood chips, ideally you want them about a year old. Ideally, what you would do is get the wood chips on thing, build big piles of them. We like to layer into the wood chips as they break down. We like to layer in some nutrients as well. So we'll actually throw on some chicken compost, or we'll actually mix in a little bit of sulfate of potash, or
would you do like leaf compost in with the wood chips?
No, it's more nutrients. We're just trying to inject nutrients.
Oh.
A, to help them break down.
Yeah.
But B, like calcium. We'll throw in some gypsum in there, just because, again, if we know the fields need those nutrients, why not as we're going to add things to the fields, add those to them. So again, as the chip loads come in, anytime a chip load comes in, I'll say, hey guys, run out and throw on, 10 pounds of gypsum, and we have a mix we throw on. And then we push that up into the pile, and it sits. And then, so this spring is when we started to really use what they brought in last year. And so we're now mulching all the blackberries, the raspberries, blueberries, pathways, that sort of thing. Now, if you are doing the general market gardening setup, where you're doing 30-inch beds, you're using the rotary plow to hill things up, I think it's a great use of your pathways to fill those with these rotting wood chips. Now, again, if you don't have rotting wood chips, just put the wood chips in. Fill those right up. And the beautiful thing about that is it's going to conserve water. It's going to hold water in that pathway. It will keep your beds a bit cooler. So again, they won't warm up as quite as fast in the spring, but they will stay warmer in the fall. And just keep them cooler during the summer as well. And then the worms and your biology absolutely loves it. The other thing you can do with it is you can inoculate them with mushroom spawn. And so you can now have mushrooms growing all through your market garden. And the cool thing about the mushrooms is typically the oh, what's the mushroom we put in the pathways? I will remember it. But we literally just did some inoculation this week or last week, which
The
is
one
kind
we
of
tried
crazy.
to do on our.
Yes.
I'm just thinking of every
A
mushroom.
wine cap. Thank you. Yes. Wine cap mushrooms. Yes. So we inoculated with all the wine cap mushrooms. And so we're super excited that should be next year, just like out of that entire blackberry patch. We should be able to once a day, every couple days, go out and pick, a basket or two of wine caps. So we're really looking forward to that. We set up special irrigation in there. And we really feel because the blackberries get quite bushy that we should be able to be picking wine caps almost a fair amount of the season, which we're kind of excited about. So that is kind of the long answer on wood chips. There's so much more to learn about wood chips. I did a podcast with a farmer in England that their almost entire fertility source is wood chips on their farm. They do a long rotation, mix the wood chips into the cover crops, and it works fabulously for them. So we're excited about it. Thankfully, we have a lot of them. I think I would say that probably 60 to 70% of our fertility will be moving into wood chips because we seem to have a good source of them. We also have a couple tree guys that bring them, and then we trade them store credit. So $25 for every load they drop, they get store credit. And they're excited about it. We're excited about it. And it makes sure we have plenty of wood chips.
Yep.
All right. Whew, that was a lot. Sorry, guys. I got kind of excited on that one. What's your recommendations for in-row spacing for elderberries? Dustin, great question. What do you want to do with your elderberries? So are you just going for cuttings? Are you going for maximum yield? Are you going to use them as a hedgerow? Because to me, those are the kind of the three big ones. If you're trying to conserve on money, you can go as far as 5 feet apart. And your plants will get a little bit bigger, take a little bit longer to fill in, but you absolutely can do that. If you want to fill in really quick, you can do 3 feet apart. If you want a happy medium, 4 feet. If you're trying to create a hedgerow, I would highly recommend a staggered row at about 5 foot spacing. So basically, in a staggered row, they're basically 2.5 feet apart, and that row will fill in. And then the rows, if you're doing a staggered row, I would do 5 feet apart. Now, do realize that will get really thick. You will have a hard time harvesting that. You'll probably lose some berries. But it will fill in. It'll be really thick. You will not be able to see through it. It'll be a great hedgerow for you.
That's what we're going to do along the train track.
Well, we're doing other things. But yes, we do have some elderberries over there. We've got sea berries over there now. We got aronia berries. We got some willows. We're adding maybe some gooseberries. Not sure. And then we're gonna do mulberries over there.
Oh, mulberries.
Because mulberries get 30 to 40 feet tall.
Yeah.
They're
very prolific.
Yes. Okay. Other question is any popular market gardening tools that you don't like and don't get the appeal of? Well, the thing is, there's a wide range of things. There's some things I don't quite understand the appeal of. That would be a good question. I think the biggest thing I don't understand, and again, it probably comes back to cost for a lot of people, and it also comes back to zoning, because like our hoop houses, they're considered agricultural. They're fine with us having them because we're an 8-acre parcel. If we were a half-acre parcel, they might be a little bit more worried about them. And there's setbacks we'd have to maintain and stuff.
Well, when we had it in Germantown, what did we have to do?
Well, but we had certain setbacks too. And if you have a small lot, your setbacks means you can't use a lot of your space.
Sure.
But I say all that to say, I don't get the appeal of the low tunnels. I know everyone right now is pushing them hard. Johnny's is talking about it, and Modern Growers talking about them. Modern Grower stuff looks fine. So I don't have anything against them. But back in New York, we did a fair amount of low tunnels because it was cheap. It covers space for like 40 to 60 cents a square foot. If you're going to do a hoop house, your hoop house is going to be $1.40 on the cheapest end, up to $2.50 to $3 on the more expensive end of a hoop house. A high tunnel is going to cost anywhere from $5 to $12 a square foot. So again, low tunnels are cheap. You can cover a lot of space. They're a lot of work. The wind can really get to them. You have to manage them like a hawk. I mean, if it gets hot out, you have to be out there right away. You can scorch plants inside of them.
They were kind of a pain to harvest out of.
Oh, they're absolute pain to harvest out, especially in the wintertime. You can't access them in the wintertime with a lot of snow without a lot of work. So yeah, low tunnels to me are the big one. I mean, I get flame weeders. I get the PDR, the BCS with the depth controlled rototiller on the back, and the I get the paper pot. We actually use the paper pot. If you have light soils, paper pot's wonderful. Heavy soils, it's a lot of work. I get the small compost spreaders. We do use a BCS here on the farm. We do like the BCS here on the farm, but we use it in conjunction with larger tillage equipment. We use it for a final, just really fine tilth. And that's because we have a heavier soil. If we had lighter soils, we wouldn't need it. If our calcium levels were where they need to be, and I think they will be probably by the end of next year, we're putting a lot of gypsum on every single year, then we won't have the cloddiness, and we should be able to get away with a bigger rototiller. But we do like the BCS. It's a great tool. I really have to say the two-wheel walking tractors are a great tool. The other thing that just doesn't fit our system, and I think it's probably me and not the tool, is the two-wheel cultivating tractors. So I know like Tilmore has some out, some of the old Planet Juniors. There are growers that swear by them and do a fabulous job with them. I just really like my Super C with the basket weeders. That works really well for us. But again, it's a lot more tractor. It takes a lot more turning space. So whereas with a walking tractor, you could probably have a 3 or 4 foot aisle, we have to have 12-foot aisles. But that's something I'm willing to take just because of the increased efficiencies and just the fact that we really like the basket weeder. So yeah, that was a fabulous, really good question. And just trying to think, is there any other tools that we don't use? We do not use a vacuum seeder here on the farm. We do use a plate drop seeder. We absolutely love our germination chamber, although we would probably switch to a combination of a germination chamber and heated benches. Because the problem is you germinate tomatoes in a germination chamber, and they're not quite 100% germinated. You put them on a cool bench. Everything that hasn't germinated just kind of sits there for another couple of days. So I think the heated benches are another great thing to utilize as well.
We don't have those though. Is it because of
We do
the?
not. They are something that we would like to do, but they are like about
Or like
4.
ginger and stuff.
Yes, ginger and turmeric would work great on those. There are about 4 things down on the purchase list.
Sure.
We do have a really exciting piece of equipment that we are investing very heavily in this summer. I can't wait to show you guys. We are waiting on some final approvals on it, but when it happens, we will be very excited about it. We will be talking about it constantly, probably. But yeah, we're actually
There'll be a whole live just about it.
There will be. Yes, we will take you around, show you it working, all the things. But yeah, we're pretty excited about that new tool, and we will share that when we can. But yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, if you have more questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. Anything else, Savannah, you can think of we didn't cover or should talk about? I think maybe since we last chatted, our kitchen moved off farm.
Oh yeah. Although she just asked about candid thoughts on Orisha.
Yes, it's okay. They aren't listening. I really love our Orisha. I really do. There's been a few quirks along the way, and I will say
Like
that
talking back. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, I think the main quirks with Orisha, and I will, full transparency, they have been in the past the podcast sponsor. They aren't a current sponsor of us, and I do not get a cut if I refer someone to them. But I will say we were a bit hesitant at first. It's not a super cheap system, but the power of the system is pretty incredible. I love the fact that I can sit here and I can close my houses if the wind is showing up.
Though there still has been times you've had to go out and
manually.
Yeah.
Okay, so that usually the main issue we had with that is our Wi-Fi the signal was not super strong. So I say that as a caveat. You need good Wi-Fi.
So if you're rural, it's really probably not a great option.
Most even rural have internet.
Yeah.
And Robert, all you need to do is call Robert, Smart Farm Innovations. And I do not get a plug. I do not get paid if I
You
refer people
really
to him.
should, though.
I should. I've sent so much business to Robert. But Robert can hook you up, get internet pretty much anywhere on your farm. But yeah, once we solved that issue, and then the most recent issue was literally because of outlet tripped.
Oh.
So I will say that has been a little bit of a sticking point there. But if you can get that aspect solved where you have consistent internet to your greenhouse, it's great. We love the fact that in the morning it comes on and dumps all the humid air, so it keeps the humidity down in there. You can program it. The wind goes over 25 miles an hour to close the sides, which is really helpful. If it's raining, you can tell it to close the sides. On windy days, you can tell it to close the windward side and keep the other side open, which is nice as well. I mean, very honestly, it's not cheap. So if you are looking for a cheaper version, I still do have a Advancing Alternatives basically brain for sale, and those are the ones that are very expensive. And I have it, I think, for about like half price or something like that. So if you are looking for the cheaper version, and I think Orisha for us, I think between the two houses and all the variations we have, we pay about $200 a month. So it's basically $100 per house per month. And the reason we did that is that they're responsible for any breakage in equipment. And there has been, because again, this now has some of the boards they're using and stuff are not quite tested as well as they would like. So we did have a couple issues along the way, but they were really good at overnighting us or getting us new parts ASAP. But the other thing I would say is that manual controls for a lot of this can be very cheap, like your fan, your heater, a manual control. So in the next greenhouse we build, we probably would build in redundant systems. So in case that Orisha failed, we could just go flick a switch and move over to a manual backup system. So again, if it's February, you have a full house of greenhouse tomatoes, a circuit board goes out, you could be in a load of trouble. So having that manual system, the backup, is not a bad idea. But
well, just having the manual system in case, I mean, it's kind of like
yes,
just making you more bulletproof.
More bulletproof, yeah. But yeah, we've been really happy with it. We like the fact they have a summer mode now and a winter mode, so you can change it out if you want to just keep your greenhouses above freezing and don't need it to do all the fancy stuff. So yeah, and the support's been good too. So we do like it. We have recommended it. Now, like Paul Arnold, my mentor, called me the other day and he said, Michael, what are your thoughts on Orisha? And I said, Paul, for you, I don't think you need it. They have a lot of the things that Orisha does for them already built in because Robert designed their systems. And they do very, very low-tech greenhouse growing. So Paul still stakes the tomatoes in his greenhouse like a basket weave. He does not do like lower and lean tomatoes. He plants a lot of this stuff in there late. So he's not really trying to push, and it wouldn't make sense for him to try to do that. So most growers I would that are pushing the seasons and all that, but Paul, that's not his goal. He's trying to slow down. He's trying to get smaller. He's not looking to make more advances in his automation. He's just trying to grow tomatoes and stuff in a greenhouse. Yeah, the great questions. Really, really good questions here. Yeah.
You said we were going to talk about the commercial kitchen not being.
Oh yes, yeah. So evolution of the farm. So yeah, we built the expansion on our barn in 2023.
Yes.
And then basically after that finished out, we closed that in. We had our old coolers on there and then during the spring of 2024, we built out the new kitchen. And we were operating as a farm kitchen. And unfortunately, the city came in and really had a problem with that because they considered that a commercial space. And when you have a commercial space, you're within city limits. So you need commercial permits and plans. The plans alone were going to be 10 grand. So, and there's two main sticking points: the plans, getting those done, and then having commercial contractors for all of that too. So you needed a commercial guy to do the plumbing, a commercial guy to do the electric, Commercial got to do the HVAC.
we're
And
like, ooh.
those rates are typically 2 to 3 times what you're going to pay anyone else to do. And the other thing is, our team, because we have a very talented team here on the farm, can do 90% of 100% of what needs done because we did it. Everything except the HVAC we installed ourselves. I mean
But a
yes.
guy who was working here, his dad was an HVAC guy, so
Yes, that guy came out and ended up putting it
that was
in.
helpful.
Yes, that guy
But
was
it's also water.
Well, so the other big thing is when you have a commercial kitchen or you have any commercial space, if you're over 60 visits a day or 25 people, if it's over 25 people per day for 60 plus days, the EPA considers that a trigger point for a commercial water, what they call a commercial water system. And a commercial water system means that you are a private water plant and you have to comply with a whole bunch of EPA rules and you have to treat the water and all sorts of fun stuff. And how they consider if someone is in your water system, it's not if someone drinks your water, it's not if someone washes their hands. It's literally if someone touches something that came in contact with that water. So people walk into our store, they touch the countertop, they consider that a user of our water system. So we basically realized that if we were to do the kitchen on our site, we would have to basically put in city water. And putting in city water here is about $25,000 to $30,000. So it was going to cost us like 40 grand to stay on the property. So we ended up moving our kitchen to again, it was kind of a God thing because like most of the commercial kitchens are pretty far away, like 25, 30 minutes. And this one is about at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., it's 8 minutes away. When you have traffic, it's like 12 minutes away. And it's basically a woman who built a beautiful state-of-the-art commercial kitchen, was doing meal prep out of there, and realized that she needed to vastly constrict what she was doing. So she leased it out to us or rented it out to us. And we basically rent it by the hour, and our crew of 3 is over there, and they stay quite busy.
Is anyone else renting it, or is it just us?
No, there are now, I think, 2 or 3 other people over there.
Oh, okay.
And so it's basically a shared use kitchen. They allowed us to bring our mixer over. We brought our bread oven over and set those up. They actually cover the install on that. Yeah, so it's nice.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And the nice thing, it's interesting over there too, is that our crew is more efficient over there.
Yeah.
Quentin, who's our main guy, he said, when we moved over there, we pretty much, added 25 to 30% more efficiency because they had a complete dish line. They had plenty of tables. They had additional ovens and things like that they needed. So
they didn't have all of us walking in,
causing
messing
problems.
stuff up.
So
you weren't there to
yes.
be like, hey, now let's do this.
Yeah. So it does definitely feel disassociated from the farm.
It feels weird. Yeah.
Like Quentin doesn't feel like he works here anymore. We're like, oh, that's right, you do work here.
He's also been on paternity.
Yes, but so there's that.
He comes and is here on Friday evenings to deliver and Saturdays.
But that's not working here, really.
No, it's not, because none of the crew is really here except for whoever's running retail. So it is different. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is different.
And I think it will be interesting this summer figuring out how we go, okay, here's all this basil that needs processed. You know, like here's all this salsa that needs made. Here's, like that kind of communication. It could be better in some ways because we'd be like, here's the stuff that you're going to use, and in some ways I hope that there's not, just things that kind of fall through like, oh, that's not what we meant, or that's, whatever.
Yeah. But I would say that any farm, the number one thing, if we had to basically knock anything down, probably we'd build a store and then build a kitchen.
Yeah. Isn't that sad?
But I mean, in all honesty, that in our operation is where the profit centers are. The store is a huge profit center for us. And then the kitchen is a good profit center too.
But we'd still have to grow what we were selling in the kitchen right
Well, yes. I think
Yeah.
the aspect of the farm kitchen for us does make a big difference.
Yeah.
Not
that I mean, we have been buying more and more in from great farmers around us.
As we continue to grow.
Right, because we can't grow everything and continue to grow.
Like this our farm visits per week compared to this time last year is double.
Wow. Oh wow, even from this time last year.
Yes. So
amazing.
Jeanette says, do you have teams that help set up new kitchens? So I do very, very limited consulting at this point, but that is absolutely something that would be absolutely right up our alley of something that we could do very, very well. I'm very versed in the food safety side of things. I'm very versed in the equipment side of things. Janelle, who is our food safety officer, and she is now,
among other things,
she is now certified. She went to some big long class. She's got some official looking certificate. I forget exactly what it is, but it
gave her a lot of anxiety.
It did give her a lot of anxiety. But we are going ODA with our kitchen. So we're basically going to be state certified so that we can sell wholesale with all of our items. So that's why she had to take those classes. And we're in the final days of that happening. So
we've got people who already have approached us wanting to
yes, we've got multiple people that want to buy all stuff from us wholesale. So yeah, we're getting close to that. But yeah, that would be something. If you reach out to Bree on the team at hello@growingfarmers.com, she will absolutely get that information, and that's something that is, yes, absolutely something we'd be very good. We could do very well for you, and it would take us a whole lot of time because again, we've literally we built two. We built the one on farm, and then we've kind of like, as we moved into the new one, we built that and know kind of what we would want.
It was mostly built, but we had to
things we would add and the layout and stuff like that.
Right.
It actually was done quite well.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's Bree is BRE. So you can do BRE or just email hello@growingfarmers.com and they will absolutely get you taken care of. Valent asks, question 1, garden animals and mint. Used to grow a lot of strawberries and 6% of the garden was mint. Since removing the mint, my strawberries are gone too. Could removing the mint be the reason? Strawberries do tend to just die out after a while. They can die out. And the other thing too is strawberries are crowns and rhizomes and runners. So if you are pulling out the mint, you may have inadvertently removed some of the strawberry plants and some of that support structure. So
because mint is so invasive.
Yes, mint is very, very, very invasive.
Yeah.
But what I would recommend with that is we really do not recommend putting mint in your garden. We recommend mint in its own space in usually a large pot or what we'll actually do is take a 55-gallon drum, slice off about 12 inches of it, and set that down in the ground. And that is kind of the mint barrier, keeps the mint from running around the garden. So yeah, I think there definitely could be some aspects of that. All right. Will an electric fence help protect my garden from small animals like squirrels, chipmunks, and raccoons, or electric fences mainly for deer and bears that live in New Jersey? Great question. Raccoons, absolutely 100%. And I'm going to actually show you a website. I wish I got commission because I send these guys so much business here too. But we highly recommend Premier One Fencing Supplies. We have been using this company again for 25 years, literally from when we got started. And their stuff is top notch. We literally we invested in our strawberry fencing from them last fall. Again, on-time shipping, good quality, called them up, said what I wanted. They sent it right out. And it was not that expensive. And the nice thing about chargers and such is that charger costs have come down substantially. So yeah. I think I misunderstood your question. So you said, since removing the mint, the strawberries are gone too. So you're saying that either the plants aren't producing strawberries or you're not seeing strawberries. Because if the plants if you see green fruit and not red, then that could be that, yes, the mint was keeping away the animals. If you're not seeing any berries, it could be that your plants are just getting old and tired, and it's time to go ahead and turn them all under and get brand new plants. We on the farm here, we bring brand new plants on every single year. So yeah, but I definitely do think that mint is something that does keep away some of these small rodents. Now, they do have fencing for garden and wildlife. They have stuff that can keep rabbits out and raccoons out. I will say that keeping out chipmunks and squirrels is much more challenging because they'll just jump. And if you guys have seen any of the videos I have, squirrels are literally the masters of getting what they want.
They're like parkour.
Yes. But, you know, Premier actually does even offer a raccoon net. And I will tell you, it does work. It absolutely does work. So it's not cheap, but it will solve it once and for all. When we were young, we built our grandfather basically a Fort Knox for his tomato plants. It literally was cages covered with chicken wire, and the top literally folded open, the bottom folded out. And he said he absolutely had a fabulous tomato crop that year.
It was just chicken wire, nothing electrified.
Nope, it was just chicken. I think it was like 1-inch chicken wire.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't keep the chipmunks out, but it kept the squirrels out. Because chipmunks can go through 1-inch wire, no problem.
But they take such small bites.
They're very dangerous. Yes. Yes. So I believe, yes, what you're saying is that I believe animals do some. There are animals that do not like the mint, and that's why they did not eat the strawberries. But yes, I definitely think that, you know, for those smaller rodents, you're going to have to cage it. For the larger ones, you absolutely could get some electric fencing, and that would work quite well for you. All right, there we go. We have gone an hour, folks. We really appreciate you guys hanging out. We will try to be back in the next month or so. Oh, is he eating your arm? He's hungry.
He's sleepy.
But we definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. You guys have a great rest of your night and your week. You know, heads up, we are starting to get to the end of the shipping season for a lot of our cuttings. So like elderberry willows are on their way out. We are starting to sell out some raspberries and some strawberry plants if you do want to get those in. So I definitely would highly recommend to check those out. We have the tomato plants and the herb plants are up and online. So if you guys haven't seen those, I think there's some emails coming out on those, but that is new. The tomato and peppers are new this year for us. Last year we tested that. And again, this is mainly for home gardeners. Again, we're not selling wholesale aspects, but we do have some really nice herbs this year. Some medicinal herbs too. We added a few medicinals. We added like nettle, ashwagandha. We added, what's the other one? Licorice and a mullein. We added a bunch of mullein this year. So yeah.
I was looking at the nettle today. It looked good.
Yeah.
You do have a question about coffee grounds, keeping slugs away?
Oh, yes.
And I will tell her hello, Jean.
I would, if you're, for coffee, I do feel that coffee grounds do help that. But if you have slugs, just go ahead and get Sluggo. It will cure your slug problem. This stuff right here, it is organic, and it works. So I would just go ahead and get this stuff. You'll be so much happier. It works better than coffee grounds, a lot better. Now, I will say, do not use coffee grounds in your garden. I mean, they're a little bit acidic, but if you put a few out here in the garden, kind of rough them in, they are going to absolutely do wonderful for you. Yeah. So yeah, not a problem at all. All right, folks, you guys have a great night. We'll talk to you at another point.